It's your boy Starko J. If you didn't know now, you know. And today it's gonna be a. I don't know how long it's gonna be. I haven't really just timed it out or anything, but I'm going to be going, if you like I said, with the titles Black Clover and MHA. Now, what I want to say that this is not a comparison video. This is not a how I put this. It's a comparison video, but it's not gonna be like, oh, one is better and one is not. It's not gonna be like that. But what I intend to do here is explain both things. Explain how they both go, how each series is different and great in its own different way. So even though the premise might start off the same, it's something that changes within each series to make them their own great series. And that's pretty much what I'm gonna be doing. I might like not really just compare certain things like I said, but it's gonna be like a simple comparison just to start with the premise. So with the Seminole premise, both Austin and Deku are born powerless. They're pretty much, I wouldn't say that they're born without powers. They're Asta without magic, Deku without his without the quirk. Well, we don't know that for sure yet, but I'm but he is without one. So basically, that's how the premise goes. Like in the world, filled with to the brim with magic. This child is pretty much magicless. In the world where heroes are those with quirks and stuff like that, this boy is powerless. That's how they're both started out with their premise. Now, how I want to say this is I want to kind of explain how they both make their situation their own. How both Horikoshi and Tabata makes those situations very different. So for me, with the thing is with Asta didn't get magic. He just got anti magic, which is not magic, but I'm not going over there in this video. But it was pretty much for him to have something that, kind of not really just get it. Like, even though it's something that he did get a reward and he's most likely happy about it, it's something that just didn't automatically give him magic. It still stuck true to like what Tabata was trying to do. And to that point now, it makes much more sense that, Asta has no magic for this particular story. Now Deku does get a quirk, and it's probably one of the strongest quirk. I know it's a lot of controversial. What I do want to say is that his quirk, him getting a quirk, I think would entices the story so much better. Even though like I might not agree with the way he got it, but I feel like him getting it is something that people should probably stop calling the cop out. Even though, like I said, it's a lot more that goes into that. I feel like him getting the quirk made the story much more easier to write for what type of story that Horikoshi was going with. So, with both stories in consideration and the way they both differ their paths, each story was suited really well to each situation. So, the world building in each series is different. Within the world building, there's always the conversation that this place doesn't. What my hero is that this place just takes in modern Japan. Even though even though I have said that before, but I have only said that because somebody was coming to BC wrong. But what I want to say is that honestly, it's not just Japan. Within world building is just not how many different places you can build up. World building is essentially the way that you can make a world work. What is its laws? What is the situation going on with society? How is job market? How is stuff like that? That is considered world building. That is what world building essentially is. Culture is what stuff they add. So, like I said, within its having a setting in Japan does not make My Hero Academia have a bad world building. And in contrary, it does have really good world building with how everything is set up within the plot. Okay, so within the world, within them having quirks, they have great laws to regulate quirks. They have certain ways they look like within the hero society. You get within the way to keeping peace and stuff like that. You got superheroes with quirks that you can employ like they are jobs. So, and then you also got people who are always going to go against that, which are intent incensed criminals to that world. They have their own way of dealing with that stuff. The police still have jobs to where they can arrest people, but it's mainly the job for the hero to take that person down. Now, within the laws and stuff, the laws are pretty fair that I see for right now. There's within the first few chapters of Vigilantes, I do feel like there was, they since the quirks can't be used without an official license. That does put a damper on things a little bit, but I feel like I can see why they do that. I can see a little bit why they do that. But and also, let's be honest, like the way that the school works, the way that it's set up, the way that you could pretty much go to school for being human. The way that the way that the schooling works and stuff like that is really really impressive to me, and the way that it was chosen to go by a school route for this type of world is kind of really just amazing. UA, the other different schools, the way they branch out and stuff like that is just something that complements the story so well. Now for world building and Black Clover, for me, I think the way that the world building revolved around magic and the way that Asta has no magic, whether you want to say anti-magic is powerful enough or not, that's up to you. I don't think it is. It's not really just that OP to where it just breaks the laws of, the entire Black Clover universe. But for me, what I really want to say is that with the world building of the series, the way that the world revolves around magic and Asta has no magic is the way that it kind of makes them feel like it's underdog, which I will get to the MCs, how this, MC stuff like that works, a little bit later. But like I said, it makes them feel like underdog. And the way that it works without, the magic knights, it's more built on social, money status. Like if you're a royal, born into a good line, got money and stuff, you're pretty well off in this situation. But now, even if you do have strong magic and you're a peasant, then you really just are a peasant with strong magic. You have no money. You have no standing. It's not really, like I said, now it's getting to the point where, now Black Clover is to the point where, a lot of people are looking more into abilities instead of, social standing. But there is still a big problem with that, instill it today. Damnation's case pretty much proved that. So, like I said, within that, the way that it's supposed to be a cricket type of logic when a bunch of royals are the ones who decide your fate. A bunch of, commoners don't really, supposed to get the same treatment as those as people of noble stand line, and it makes a really perfect, like I said, with the story it feels and with the story it builds and the way that the world is set up is the way it's supposed to go. And the way that it builds slowly on that into the series of where you can understand a lot more of Black Clover is all, really amazing. So, like I said, I explained how, it fits in each series. So, So, now let's talk about the MCs. Now, I have done Asta's role in Black Clover, but I have not done a My Hero role. And basically, I'm just gonna get, I do want to make one, but at the same time, I feel like I want this covered. So, I will probably do another Deku video down the road a little bit later. Probably my take on it is different. But for me, all right. So when I say fit is well in each series, the way that I want to put this is so people don't get mad. For me, a weaker will protagonist and the way that My Hero was set up is a way that I think that works really well for Horikoshi. The way that he has written Deku to be this character that doesn't really have confidence in a character that, needs a development more than anybody in the show is really, is a really good attachment for where he wants to be. Heroes of all kind have to develop in the way that the reason they go to school is for them to develop the skills or, mentality necessary for that to work. But also, another thing that I really want to touch on is that Asta's role as an MC isn't really to stand out. How I put it, not really to stand out, but more to be a part of it. Even though he might grab the title of number one hero, we gotta really remember that his official goal at the start of the time was just to become a hero like All Might. So, when it comes to that, he's more in turn to fit in. He's not really trying to change the hero role, where in a sense where he doesn't think it is really right or something like that. He wants to do what all heroes do, and that's to join that force. He wants to be a hero. So it really doesn't call for a protagonist like Asta who needs to change something, or Luffy who has to see something in the different terms. The story of MHA is a perfect playground for those type of characters that really need to develop and want to fit in more than anything. So, like I said, this is probably a great choice on Horikoshi's part to pick an MC or write an MC like Deku into this story, and it was really, really, really good. So now Asta. For me, Asta fits so well into the story because he's a protagonist that's supposed to stand out. So what I mean by stand out is that he doesn't want to become a part of the fold like Deku. He wants to become somebody who is able to create and change those way that they go about certain things. The Wizard King job might not have as much authority as the Augustus Kira, the king of the Clover Kingdom, but he holds like just a little bit under that much power to change the way that everybody goes about seeing that. So even if you really think about it, I could honestly say that Julius probably did have about as much power as as overstandings is Kira, but that's another topic for another day. But like I said, he wants to change the way that the world has been treating peasants, how everything is based on social status and not really skill level, especially in the Magic Knights. So he wants to change that. He wants to change how he grew up in an orphanage. He grew up barely poor. Like, let's be honest, every time we see what Asta had to eat, like literally potatoes. Like that's all they had. Like that's really all they had. Salty potatoes with dry potatoes, pretty much, where that's all they had to eat. And he wants to change the way that the reason why that they don't get any of this is that they're peasants. He wants to change the world standing around him, and he wants to change how everything is perceived. So he's Tabata wrote the right type of protagonist in for that type of thing. So him being there to be like a stronger willed person that just really needs to progress with strength and progress in certain problems that he needs to have rules on, is probably something that was really needed into the story of Black Clover and what it was really needed to do inside of that premise. So all right, so the next topic I really want to get on, or the next point, is how each world standing is. Now, what I mean by world standing is like the white and black series, white or black series, or or the gray series. And basically, let me get to the point of this. The reason why a white and black series work for My Hero is because the way it gives you like the comic vibe, comic type vibe with mixed with Japanese manga. That's pretty much what Horikoshi was shooting for. He loves Marvels and DC comics. There's a lot of pictures of him going back and drawing it. I think it's already stated in one of the volumes of My Hero that he really loves Spider-Man, which kind of inspired the new power that Deku has. So, like I said, with that standing, it was more prominent to use a black and white series over a gray series. Now, what I mean by black and white is mainly that the way that the world works is split into two different things. Whereas, like, you can look at one side as completely dark and completely villainous, and the other side is completely heroic. The white side being completely, heroic, pretty much no doubt wrong. Now, I know a lot of people might try to be like, well, what about Endeavor? He's not really a good person, is he? But the way I want to explain this to you is the way I want to explain this to you is basically that Endeavor did his job as a hero. He took out villains, even though he might have, mentally kind of abused, his wife to the point where, and his kids to the point where they have trouble with that. He still did his job as a hero. He still handed out, did what he did, what he was paid to do, and did what he kind of, just did that. So anyway, even though we can look at his, the way he treated his kids and stuff wrong, he was really not doing anything wrong by the world he was being in. Okay, how would I put this? not how will I put this? He was not doing anything villainous in the way that he was going about stuff. But even though he might have been a monster to his family, he outside of the world he was still viewed as a hero. So like it wasn't like he was betraying the heroes or anything like that. That's what I mean by that. So like I said, a white and black situation really works for this series because like I said, the goal aligns with it, and there's the world building around it supports it. So I feel like that was honestly the best way it can go. So, all right. So, the Black Clover has more of a great storyline where, like, even though the Clover Kingdom is supposed to be protected and stuff like that, the Clover Kingdom itself is not really all that great. Like, and by what I mean by great is mainly the case for mainly the case for how Magic Knights are in situations. Like, let's be honest, there's been Magic Knights like who pretty much just didn't help people because of their social standards. We can look at actually one of the main biggest reasons and biggest things show is look at Zora. Zora pretty much became a person that was an enemy to the Clover Kingdom because he was taking out Magic Knights. But what those Magic Knights was doing, and it's in turn was not helping people, basically attacking people for being a certain class and not doing what they were paid to do. And by what I mean by a gray storyline is where either side is it's hard to tell whether each no sole faction is a great faction. Even though they might look like they might be considered heroes, no side is either that one pitch black or that deep white. Like, let's be honest, there has been villains, that have come from, other kingdoms and stuff like that weren't really just villains. They were kind of raised in a certain way to believe that they were villains or anything like that. And also, let's look at, like I said, look at Langris. Langris was really dead set on killing his own damn brother just to prove a point. And he was supposed to be he was vice captain of the Golden Dawn. A Magic Knight Scout is supposed to be one of the biggest and greatest. And helping people and stuff like that. And it was something that was looked up to. And I went like, the best way I've seen it explained is that you can look at Langris, qualities and what he did before. I'm not talking about now, but look what he did before, and you can look at somebody like, I think the best combination, the best comparison I have used is Smoke Dude is where even though he had a wife and kids at home, he was even though he kind of just gave off that vibe that he was like a bad dude, he chose running and even saved his comrades. And he was thinking about his kid and, his kid the whole time. So which one is the bad guy? Even though we can look at a certain stance that, he was fighting Look and that was at that time was considered a bad guy, he still had better mentality and a better morale than Langers did. So that's what I meant by more of a gray story, and it works pretty well with Black Clover Prize. I feel like a black and white story doesn't fit well with what Asa is trying to do. So the Clover Kingdom isn't all that good. And also the enemies that they have are not all that bad, and it works really well with the main character and stuff like that. So, that's how I feel about those, some things. Now for a summary, I feel like Black Clover and My Hero are often at the time, at the crosshairs of both getting slandered by each fandom. But what I really want to say is here, notice how I didn't down one series here to, uplift one, and I really just brought out the best of both, points. Even though I have a lot of cons for this series, I just want people to understand that there's more deeper within two series. I love My Hero, Academia. Even though I love Black Clover, Black Clover a bit more, I still see what the author, was trying to do in certain things. Even though there's a lot of problems I do have with, My Hero, in which I will discuss that in his own separate video. There's a lot that a lot of people tend to miss out on because of how it starts and how, Deku is as an MC. Not really how his role really affects the world, but mainly because of how he acts instead of mainly because they don't want a crybaby MC and stuff like that. Same with Asta. A lot of people call Asta bland as an MC, which I don't really think Asta is bland as an MC. Development isn't everything. There's characters who need it and characters who don't. So when it comes to Asta, Asta is more strong-willed than most other characters that really need development. Even though his goal might change a little bit along the way, and not really, he has always had a pretty much mature goal within the series. For the stories as much, each story goes a separate way. Even if starting at the same point, they both have completely different storylines that are fit the way that the author is trying to portray them very wellly. Like the main way is that Asta would not have worked well in a series like My Hero, and Deku would not have worked well in a series like Black Clover. Both are great in their own right, and they both complement their series so well to, really to a T, that where is the reason why those series are really, really good is because everything just feels more, how would I put it, fits, really, really well together. And each element that I discussed here makes the series move smoothly without adding or anything, without adding something that's so, off the wall to the series, and not not good off the wall, like where it became so good it's unpredictable. Well, forcing the narrative into the story that doesn't need to be there. So when it comes to me, I always love, I love, plot twists. I love how well stuff can change within a single moment and how things are feeling in each moment. But for what I do not like is when something unnatural comes out of the series to where the point where it destroys the whole entire narrative of a story. So basically, and also what I want to say is I hope the Black Clover and My Hero fandom will always, stop beefing with each other. Like, we're both new generation. We're both good series. I know that a lot of the times when a more popular series is there, they tend to, fight about certain things, or people, indirectly bring up stuff like that, sales and stuff like that, popularity and stuff like that, to use against a smaller series, or they use how, oh my god, this series is so good. Like I said, it's a lot of that goes around, and it's on both sides. It's not just one side. Not just the My Hero fandoms. It's not the Black. It's just not them. It's both sides collectively that have become a toxic comparison of two series that we just need to really stop and get a. I ain't saying kiss and make up or agree with each. Others. Or just change our opinions to thinking that, oh, this, we should agree instead of, doing that. Different opinions is what makes us human, and different opinions, we're not all gonna disagree or agree on something. We're all not gonna do that. Even a lot of people in their own fandom fights because they don't agree on certain stuff, and that's pretty much what the shipping community is for a lot of series. So what I want to do, if you haven't read either respective series, don't talk about it. And I would like to say, if you have only read Black Clover, please go out and read My Hero Academia. You will probably enjoy it. If you haven't seen, if you're a My Hero fan and you haven't seen Black Clover, you should read it as well. Is a great series as well. And so, like I said earlier, as a summary to this whole entire thing, is that really both series have their strengths and they have their cons. But for each series, those strengths and cons will always build up to make sense in the long run. So for me, this has been Stark OJ. If you like this video, could you leave a like, comment down below what you liked about the video. If you're new here, could you subscribe? If you didn't like the video, you can still leave a like, show somebody some love, and leave a comment why you didn't like the video. But like I said, this is probably going to be my longest video on my channel. So, just make sure you support it, and I would like to keep on doing content like this. So, it's your boy Stark OJ. Peace. Stark OJ. Peace. Stark OJ. Peace. Stark